What is good, yo? It's your boy Ty, back here with another video. And in this video today, we are going to be talking about something within NBA 2K22 MyTEAM that I think 2K did a really good job with. And yes, we're going to be talking about Triple Threat Online and Triple Threat Offline. Now, the highlight rewards are Bryant Reeves and Keith Van Horn. We're not talking about how those guys are really good or about how those guys are worth grinding for. But what we are going to be talking about are the other rewards. You know, John Wall, Aaron Gordon in Triple Threat Offline, Triple Threat Online, Paul George, Trey Young. We're going to be talking about those guys. Now, before we dive any further into this video today, if you are new to the channel and have not yet, please consider smashing that subscribe button as we are on the road to 90,000 subscribers. So kind of to preface this video, in the past, 2K has had like weekend events, for example, in which they plug players on boards or in the vault, but those players are nearly unattainable. The odds of getting an Anthony Davis, let's say P-Diamond Anthony Davis, I think at one point was on boards, was just so bad. Yes, he was on boards and there was a chance to get him, but those odds were so bad. On the flip side, the odds for Paul George are not that bad. For example, before this whole event, Paul George was going for, 150, 200,000 MT. Right now, Paul George is going for 50,000 MT. This one's a little bit more expensive. Obviously, he has 10 Hall of Famers. But you look at the price of Pink Diamond Paul George. I mean, again, for a card that used to be 200,000 MT just a couple of weeks ago, I know we've got better players. But this card right here for 40,000 MT is still one of the top cards in the game. And I'm telling you guys right now, he is an absolutely incredible budget option at this point. I hate to call him a budget option, but he's exactly that. For 45,000 MT, you're probably not going to find a better option. The reason I like this, and kind of the timing of everything, is because of this. A lot of people probably just picked up the game for Christmas. Okay, awesome. If they get Keith Van Horn, yes, he's an okay player that can help them out. But here's the deal. If they get Paul George, they could use Paul George as a really good player, but he's also sellable, so they could sell him and get the MT. Same thing for Trey Young. I'm never going to hype Trey Young up as being the best card in the game, but we've seen his price go down quite a bit, and especially if you're on current gen, Trey Young for what, 10,000 MT now is not that bad. This one's for 8,900, but we can just see how many new Trey Youngs there are, and this is what I love about the game. I used to play Triple Threat Online a lot in years past, and I guess the reason I played it is because it was pretty rewarding. Without Paul George on boards, without Trey Young, Triple Threat Online would not be worth playing at all. Even if the Triple Threat Online reward was decent, better than Keith Van Horn, it still really wouldn't be worth it after you got him. Now, because of the way it is with MT, with Paul George opportunities, you can make a lot of MT by playing Triple Threat Online. On kind of the same equation, let's talk about John Wall. A couple of weeks ago, a week or two ago, before he was on boards, John Wall was at least 150,000 MT. At least. Now you're looking at John Wall for about 50,000 MT. And I'm going to tell you guys this right now. For 50,000 MT, you are not going to find another point guard, maybe outside of Penny Hardaway. I don't know what Penny's price is. 40,000, 39,000 MT for John Wall. You're not going to find another point guard that can do everything John Wall can do for 35,000 MT. You're just not. It's that simple. This is why I love what 2K did. They not only updated boards with two really good pink diamonds, they made both of these pink diamonds really attainable. We're seeing more and more people get these cards, which drives their price down, which is not only good for the people who get John Wall and Paul George that you get a pink diamond, but also for people who want to start their team up, right? You're telling me you can start your team up with John Wall, Paul George for, under 100K combined, and John Wall is a top 5 point guard, Paul George a top 5 small forward for under 100K, and they're pink diamonds. So if you are, if you are one of those people who does not like running sapphires, well, here you go. You can pick up John Wall, you can pick up Paul George for really cheap. Again, single player Aaron Gordon, another guy who is not bad. Like Aaron Gordon, I'm not gonna hype him up and say he's the best card in the game. But what I will say is for 4,000 MT, Aaron Gordon is incredible. That is what I will say. For 4,000 MT, 3,000 MT, he is absolutely incredible. So with Triple Threat Offline, with Triple Threat Online, I love what 2K did. I think that 2K should do more of this throughout this year because it's gonna keep the game mode active. Here's the deal. Right now, nobody's playing Unlimited because J-Rich isn't that great. Nobody's playing Draft. Nobody's playing really anything. The most rewarding modes are Triple Threat Offline and Triple Threat Online to make MT. And the crazy part about it is it has absolutely nothing to do with Bryant Reeves or Keith Van Horn. I'll be the first to tell you, Keith Van Horn, Bryant Reeves, neither of these cards are very good. But the opportunity to get Paul George, and if you see Paul George, there's at least going to be 2 of them, maybe 3 of them on every board. So let's say you see Paul George, the least amount of MT you should come away with, yes, you might have to play a few games, is about 150,000 right now. I mean, even with his price going down, if you see 3 of them, even 2 of them, you're looking at over 100,000 MT. And that's just crazy to think about. In the past, I would have never recommended playing Triple Threat Online, even with the updated boards. The odds were basically 0. But there's people out there who have gotten 10 plus Paul Georges during this time. Like, it's not that hard to get Paul George if you do play the game quite a bit. He is not like unattainable or anything like that. He's the type of dude that I don't mind if you guys want to grind for. I mean, Triple Threat Online, Triple Threat Offline are probably the 2 most rewarding modes. John Wall, it's crazy to think a week ago he was 150,000, and now we're looking at a card for 35,000. This is something in 2K that I think they should do. So when January 3rd comes around, yes, I know we're gonna see the past vault players come back. But who says no to giving us, let's say, like a Dolph Shays type of a player? Or let's say even you want to go to the Mystic set. Heck, throw James Harden, T-Mac on there. I don't see why not. Or even a Ray Allen. Just give us these types of cards that are pink diamonds, not necessarily overpowered. Julius Erving, Jimmy Butler, those types of cards. Blake Griffin, for example, that people are going to have fun grinding for, that are attainable. Nobody is saying that like Paul George or John Wall is overpowered. But what I think it does is gives people, first of all, something to grind for that they can use or make MT. Second of all, it gives the rest of us really good budget options. So for me, on my nobody spent guys that I could look at getting, and it just brings more fun out of the game in general. I might be alone in liking Triple Threat Online and Offline updates, although Keith Van Horn and Bryant Reeves are terrible. Like, yes, they're terrible, I admit that, but I think it was all part of 2K's plan. 2K knew that they were going to update boards, and instead of, hyping up a really good player, they gave us PG as well as John Wall on boards. I'd honestly rather have it this way than having souped up Triple Threat Offline and Online rewards, because once you get this souped up player, let's say like Paul Silas, you have nothing else to grind for. Let's say you got Paul George. You can still get another Paul George and sell him. Once you get one Keith Van Horn, you're going to have to quick sell the next one. And that's why I'm absolutely in love with just kind of what 2K did with this. So if you are looking for something to grind in the game right now for MT, this is what I recommend. Whether you like offline, whether you like online, definitely very, very rewarding. And I'm telling you guys, there are plenty of Paul Georges. There are plenty of John Walls being posted. And if you don't believe me, or if you don't believe that there's a lot of them being pulled, then why is John Wall 30K? John Wall is a top 5 point guard in the game. And if the supply of John Wall was lower, he would be a lot more expensive. Supply and demand, folks. I'm telling you guys this right now. John Wall is a top 5 or so player, point guard in the game, and he's under 40K. Paul George, right around 50K, and he's definitely a top 5 small forward in the game. So definitely something to look at if you are kind of in that grind type of a mode. If you want something to grind in 2K, Triple Threat Online, Triple Threat Offline is not a bad option. And I think as a community, we need to give 2K some credit for, in a way, saving Triple Threat Online because and offline. Keith Van Horn, Big Country were not good, but they found a way to make this game still fun to play. I think if 2K continues to do this, updates Triple Threat Online like this all year long, it might be a game mode I start to stream. I mean, quite honestly, I could stream me trying to grind and get Paul Georges and stuff like that. Because it's something that is RNG. I want you guys to know it is RNG. There's nothing guaranteed about you getting Paul George. But it is fun at that same time. The excitement of you seeing a Paul George and knowing, you have 100,000 MT just sitting there is probably unexplainable. Like, that would be so exciting. So just something to think about, guys, with Triple Threat Online, Triple Threat Offline. If it is something you want to grind, they do update January 3rd, it looks like. So update tomorrow, I do believe, or the next day. So just something to kind of think about, guys, with this is they should update tomorrow. But we'll look at, see what 2K does. Hopefully they do give us new kind of pink diamonds that are auctionable at that top tier and even the middle tier to make it so much fun to play. It's gonna wrap it up for my video, just kind of going over my thoughts on the Triple Threat Offline Online this season. I think it's a massive W for 2K in general. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, leave your comments on this down below. As always, guys, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.